One of the good things about predicting Trump was going to win is we were able to actually do some research and to our newsletter subscribers and others and interviews and shows like yours, tell people what the best trades were. In other words, what sectors were going to benefit from Trump. There's some that are going to be hurt. The Green New scam, windmill operators, we don't have to get on this. Those are all going to be hurt. Trump's not bashing them. He's just saying we're not going to subsidize them. We're not going to put them at the front of the line anymore. You're on your own. Most of them are not economic. So we don't have to spend time on that. But there is a list of places you don't want to be. But on the positive side, here are the sectors, because as I said, I did a big article on this a couple of days ago. Obviously, oil, natural gas drilling, production, and refining. And I like Marathon Oil because they're, of course, they're an exploring, producing company along with ExxonMobil and Chevron. But Marathon has a big refining slice, and U.S. hasn't built a new refinery since the 1970s. So you're not only going to see pipelines and maybe finally get the Keystone XL pipeline done after all those delays, but you're going to see an expansion in refining capacity. So I like that. Mining for sure, as costs of production go down, as electricity prices go down, based on, drill baby drill. If you produce more energy, you're going to have lower energy prices. Energy and water are big inputs into the mining business. But opening up leasing on federal lands, relaxing environmental permits. By the way, I have a certain amount of experience in the mining industry. I've never seen anyone who's more careful about the environment. I mean, if you're using arsenic to get a reduction to gold, for example, they cache it and they weigh it. And they say, you better account for every drop of arsenic. It's not like they're dumping this into the water. So it's not a threat to the environment, but they've been using the environment to stand in the way. That's going to change. Mining is going to expand. Canada, different set of rules, but the U.S., places like Nevada, which is Utah, which are kind of mining friendly, that's going to grow. And if you have an industrial expansion, what do you need? More copper, more lithium. Silver is an industrial metal. Defense and national security for sure. And it's not all about, RTX. It used to be Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, etc. Yeah, they're the biggies. But a company called Leidos, which has 3 verticals. It's defense, national security, and IT. I can't think of a better combination of things that are going to benefit under Trump. Automobile manufacturing, sorry China, sorry Mexico. And by the way, you have to know the people behind it. Robert Lighthizer, Peter Navarro. I mean, I know Peter personally. I've spoke to other Trump advisors. They're going to pound foreign imports of cars with tariffs like you've never seen. And Mexico is not going to get off the hook under it's the USMCA now, the updated version of NAFTA, but basically it allows Mexican cars into the US without tariffs. But a lot of those Mexican car plants are owned by China. Trump's going to single them out, put huge tariffs on them. So what they're saying, they're not saying we're against foreign investment. They're saying you, China, Japan, Korea, whoever you are, you can sell cars in the United States, but you have to make them here. You're going to have to open plants. So that's going to be a big plus. Cryptocurrency, I'm not a fan, but markets are markets. Bitcoin's way up. Banking, finance, trucking, and airlines. If you lower energy costs, which Trump will, then their margins will go up. So there are a lot of sectors that are going to benefit. Look, Trump reached out to a lot of constituencies, blue collar, African Americans, Hispanics. Well, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency more broadly, is a constituency. They're particularly with the younger voters, people under 30, is very popular. And he's going to put Elon Musk practically in the cabinet. And Elon Musk, I think he's behind Dogecoin. But I'm not saying, buy crypto. But as an analyst, I'll put my own views aside. This is going to do very well. And the key is you have to get the SEC and the CFTC to stop treating cryptos as securities. Once you do that, then almost anything goes. There'll be some regulation, and obviously you want to avoid fraud. But this is a huge regulatory win for the cryptocurrency industry. There's no question about it. Gold is going to get a lot stronger, and it's not like we're not going back to a gold standard or anything of the kind. But here's the thing. Gold is being driven by factors that are bigger than Trump. Presidency is a big deal. Looks like the Republicans might have what we call a trifecta, where you get the White House, the Senate. House is still close, but it looks like they'll get the House maybe only by a few votes. That's the trifecta when you have the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And then that means treaties, tax reconciliation, Supreme Court appointments. There's a whole bunch of things that you can get done if you do that. None of it's bad for gold, but it's not really pertinent. But gold is being driven by things that are bigger than the White House. The central bank buying, the BRICS, de-dollarization, the fact that the U.S. froze and is in the process of stealing $300 billion worth of Russian-owned U.S. Treasury securities that were lawfully acquired. If you're anybody, China, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, Japan, anybody, you say, hey, you guys, the United States, just stole, not froze, but stole $300 billion of Treasury securities. Why do I want to be in Treasuries? Well, you have to be in some because there aren't many good alternatives, but you're going to go to gold. So the gold is going to go higher. It's bigger than Trump is how I would put it. If you ask me what the Fed's going to do, it's easy. They're going to cut 25 basis points today and again in December. They're on that path. But if you ask me if that's stimulus I would say no. The Fed is almost irrelevant in the stimulus debate. They put on a good show. I'll give Jay Powell credit. He's a smart guy. He's a lawyer. I'm not an economist. It's not, it's the no drama Fed. They're going to keep lowering interest rates. That's not necessarily a good thing, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, well, the Fed's cut rates. It's stimulus. They are cutting rates, but it is not stimulus. Cutting rates is something that goes hand in hand with an economic slowdown or recession. So we'll see how Trump's policies try to turn the recession around, but that's kind of baked in the pie. The U.S. economy is slowing very, very dramatically. But I do watch it, and I write about it, and I analyze it, but I focus much more on commercial banks, productivity gains, and things like that. Governors have a 14-year term, but the chair has a 4-year term. His term expires in early 2026. Now, the question is, can the president fire the Fed chair? Well, it's never happened. You sort of like pull the rug out from under them. Their term expires, they leave, pick a new chair, fine. But there's never been a Fed chair who was fired in midterm, and it's not even clear you can do it. But I don't think Trump's going to try. Look, the clock's ticking. Powell's had 2 terms. He's on his way out in 2026. Why pick that fight if you don't have to? But where Trump will prevail, and I think here's the big story, there's rotation. There'll be vacancies on the Board of Governors, and look who Trump appoints to the Board of Governors. That's not a hard forecast, but you're going to see names like Judy Shelton, Monica Crowley, and others who are very pro-gold. But this is where the Senate is a big deal, because the president can make appointments, but the Senate has to approve it. And if you have 51 votes, there's always a flaky Republican somewhere, Lisa Murkowski, who's like, playing footsie with the Democrats. But if you get to 54, which I expect, you can even lose a vote or two and still prevail. So I would suggest the viewers kind of circle Judy Shelton on the Board of Governors. She just came out with a new book, Good as Gold, of course, my book, The New Case for Gold. And that's very bullish for gold. Well, for, I would say decades, but certainly the last 10 years, since Obama and getting worse under the Biden administration, the Democrats in particular, but I would say the legacy media and a lot of other people, they couldn't think about people as people. You were black, you were a woman, you were Latino, you were in a category, which is bad enough in my view. But then once they put you in the category, the Democrats presupposed that they knew who you were. Joy Reid was on, well, Harris lost because white women didn't do their jobs. And Juan Williams was on, Harris lost because black men didn't step up and vote for Harris. I said, stop. And the point was made, they're men and women. What do they really care about? They care about jobs, getting their first house, getting the mortgage down payment, real incomes going up, the price of gasoline, the price of groceries, etc. Doesn't matter, black, white, male, female, gender, whatever. Those are the things people care about. And Trump recognized that. He didn't treat people as categories. He treated them as people, and people listened. And then another footnote, this is the legacy media is dead, just dead. They're irrelevant. They're still in the air. They still have some clout. They'll try to set the conversation. But alternative media, shows like this, Joe Rogan has got 15 million people, and his demographics are 71% male, and I believe about 80% under the age of 30. Okay? That's a bigger platform. Alternative media, YouTube, podcasts, that's where people are going for information, because those people actually tell the truth, whereas the legacy media is just a bucket of lies. And so I think we've seen, it's a little more communications theory, but I think we're seeing a media revolution in addition to the political revolution. Yeah.